And gentlemen, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing. We're rejoicing and we're glad in it. For those of you that are coming on, please do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know you boy. My squad, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Wednesday, W-I-N-S, Wednesday, January the 18th. We're 18 days into the new year, and I'm super excited about today's show because I'm finna give you the game on how you gonna find, create, and maximize all opportunities in this so-called recession of 2023. So please do me a favor. If you're coming on live, I want you to hit the like button. I want you to hit the share button, and I want you to tag somebody and put in the comments, please, as I ask every day, put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from, who you represent. Put in the comments. Let me know what city you're watching me from. I appreciate all of you for supporting the Ramonepreston Show. Those of you that are already a part of our business community, maybe you're a member of our Millionaire Blueprint program. Perhaps you are a mentee in my one-year coaching program, or maybe you operate on another level and you might be a licensee, you might be certified, you might be a minister in our ministry. Wherever you at in the world of Next Level and Ramonepreston, I just want you to know that I appreciate your love, your support, and I appreciate your engagement. So while you're coming on, be sure to put in the comments, what city you're watching your boy from. Thank you so much. With that being said, I want to officially say welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I'm your host, Ramonepreston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. Guess what I do? I show up here on the Ramonepreston Show, and my main reason for showing up, my main goal, my main objective, my main assignment for showing up on this show 5 days a week, live in the middle of the workday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, is to give you information that I know and everybody knows you can use to start, to structure, and at some point to scale any business, any ministry, any income stream. So if you have dreams and desires to take your business or your ministry or just your finances to the next level, the information that I share with you on this show, I know it can help you get there, because all this information is a part of my personal life, but it's a part of all the programs, all the services, all the courses, and all the content that I provide on Ramonepreston University. We have an entire university training platform. We have ministry courses and programs. We have business courses and programs. I'm a business consultant, a business coach. I'm an educator and teacher and trainer by nature. I just love to teach people and to educate people on things that I know can change their lives. And so today, I want to talk to you about 3 recession-proof keys for entrepreneurs. 3 recession-proof keys for entrepreneurs. Now, as I always do, I have a few stats that I want to share with you, and a little information that if you just Google and watch the news a little bit, most likely some of this information, it's not common information because a lot of people ain't really listening to it. A lot of people ain't reading it. A lot of people ain't watching it. But the World Bank, if you don't know what the World Bank is, you just need to Google World Bank. But for those of you that do know what the World Bank is, the World Bank has predicted a global recession for 2023. So the World Bank, this is a global institution that has this goal, this objective, this vision, and this mission to end poverty around the world and to provide financial and economic support to some of the hardest hit countries and demographics of people. Whether they do it correctly or not, that's what their goal and their objective and intention is. But the World Bank has predicted a global recession for 2023. So most people believe we're already in a recession just by how things are going economically. They anticipate, the World Bank, they anticipate the GDP growth, the global GDP growth. So like the GDP is like the gross domestic products. Like they look at like the overall economy of a nation, the overall economy of a specific demographic, or the overall economy of a specific geographic location, and they can predict and determine like what the growth is anticipated to be. So they are anticipating that the global GDP growth, it will be half of what they initially projected. So they projected initially that in 2023, the GDP growth would be about 3%. Now they're saying that it might be somewhere between 1.5 to 1.7%. So they're basically retracting, saying, we don't even think the growth globally in terms of economics will even be half of what we initially thought it would be. So now the question is, what does that mean for the world? What does that mean for the globe? What does that mean for the world? Well, this could mean an economic downturn, which we're already seeing. We're seeing it with banks. We're seeing it with a lot of technology companies. We're seeing it with a lot of global exchanges, a lot of foreign affairs. Things are turning downward, meaning that it ain't really moving and popping the way it used to move and pop. But what does this mean for the individual? Just in case you're not an entrepreneur, what does this mean for an individual? If you just work in your job, you a stay-at-home parent, or maybe you are a W-2 trying to pick up a side hustle and you're just trying to figure your way out to get through the next bill cycle and to get out of living paycheck to paycheck, and you don't want to have more month than you have money. What does this mean to you if this predicted recession is actually true? Well, for you as an individual, this could mean you have harder lending criterias, which really means nothing to somebody who can't get a loan anyway. But it can mean price hikes. So everybody's talking about eggs and how high eggs are. Well, 6 months ago, they was talking about gas. They were talking about car notes. They was talking about interest rates. So it's always something. But because of the volatility and the economic downturn and the pace of growth, these things start hitting home for individuals. So you see price hikes, you see layoffs. In other words, you see inflation, but to some extent you see deflation. So on one hand, inflation is like goods and services are going up, the prices, but the wages are not going up. So let's say eggs went up, right? So eggs could cost, a dozen of eggs in some places cost you close to $10. But it don't mean if you live in an area where the eggs are high right now and the cheese is high and the butter is high and the milk is high, does that really mean that when you go to work tomorrow, your boss gonna give you a $3 raise? No. So that's a form of inflation. But not only is it inflation that impacts you as an individual and even as a globe, but deflation, because there are a lot of things that are happening around the world that's causing the global economy to impact and to change your local economy. Because now people ain't hiring you as much. Let's say, for example, you might be a personal assistant. Well, somebody can go hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines. Okay, you might be a web designer. They might not use you in your area because they might go to Fiverr or some other platform. They might use WordPress or Wix. So I'm just showing you how, as a world globally and as a individual personally, this anticipated recession and downturn and drag of growth, it changes how you operate on a day-to-day basis. So what does this recession mean for the entrepreneur? This is where my 3 recession-proof keys come in at. Because for the entrepreneur, I'm talking about for those of you that are go-getters, for those of you that are watching me and you like, I'm not finna sit down. I'm not going to just be a victim to the situation and circumstance. I ain't going to just hope that something happen. I'm going to make something happen. And I'm not waiting for an opportunity. I'm going to find an opportunity. So for you, what does the recession in 2023 mean? What does inflation mean to you? What does price hikes and layoffs mean to you? What does the anticipated projections that the World Bank is giving out in the form of news? What does this stuff mean to you? I'm gonna tell you what it means to you. Are you ready? It means opportunity. This is what it means to you as an entrepreneur. It means opportunity. So if you are a go-getter, whether you work a job or not, whether you have a business or not, whether you got a side hustle or not, if you stop thinking like everybody else in the world is thinking, if you stop thinking like most individuals are thinking, and you start thinking like a real entrepreneur, a real hustler, a real go-getter, a real creator, then what you see going on is going to be seen as an opportunity for you. So if you around here arguing and fussing and mad about some eggs going up, you don't see the opportunity. You see the writing on the wall, but you don't see the opportunity. If you mad every time you go to the gas pump, if you mad every time you go shopping, if you upset every time you trying to get a loan or readjust your loan or go get an apartment, the rent going up, all this stuff is a part of what's happening in this so-called recession. But for you as an entrepreneur, as a thinker, as a creative person, as a pioneer, as the leader of your family, as the breadwinner, this is an opportunity for you. And I'm going to show you how you can create opportunities for yourself by using these 3 recession-proof keys. All right. So I'm going to give you 3 keys. These are the 3 keys that you can use to recession-proof yourself as an entrepreneur. You can capitalize on what's happening right now. It's not an obstacle. It's an opportunity. So when I see eggs going up, interest rates going up, the housing market is tripping, car loans are going up, when I see layoffs, when I see price hikes in other goods and services, when I see banks starting to, hold back on, and really they're creating harder criterias for you to get loans. When I see all this stuff happening, I know it's an opportunity. I know there's an opportunity somewhere, but you got to know how to not just seize the opportunity, but to some extent create the opportunity. So here are my 3 recession-proof keys. The first recession-proof key is commitment. Now, I got some stuff I'm going to share with you on each one, so don't just take commitment and be like, oh, everybody know commitment. Yeah, but you don't know the details of it. Just because you know something intellectually don't really mean you can apply it practically. So you can say, oh yeah, I'm committed. I'm about commitment. But what does that look like when you wake up tomorrow? What does that look like for the rest of your day? So one recession-proof key as an entrepreneur is commitment. So when I say commitment, what I'm talking about is your commitment to expanding. Okay, not contracting, because this is what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are contracting. A lot of people are starting to think small. A lot of entrepreneurs are trying to figure out, well, how can I downsize and how can I save money and how can I, just wait until this wave ends and I'll circle back around. Even in real estate, how can I just ride this wave and I'll just wait to buy something in 2-3 years? It's the wrong move. It's because you don't have a commitment to expanding. If you have a commitment to expanding, this commitment will become a recession-proof key. So you have to have a commitment to expanding, not contracting. You have to have a commitment to potential, not pessimism. I don't even know how to spell it. That's how much I don't even like the doggone word. I don't even know how to spell the word pessimism. I just know I don't like the word. But I have a commitment to potential, meaning that I want to look at the possibilities of what I can accomplish in 2023. I don't want to be pessimistic. Pessimism is like all you do is think negative. Man, the eggs are too high, gas too high, rent too high, ain't nobody hiring, nobody don't want to do business, people don't want to spend money. All of this is pessimism. This is not a recession-proof key. It's going to hurt you, especially as an entrepreneur. You need to be committed to expanding, not contracting. I just told my coaching clients who are in my mentorship program Monday, every Monday night we host a coaching call. I just told them that I've already committed to spending at least a couple $100,000 this year to expand my business. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to relocate. I'm literally getting ready to relocate from this space that I'm in. One of the reasons why, I got a couple reasons, but one of the reasons is because I want to expand. I want to get to at least 20 employees. I want to push our business to become a $10 million business. So how am I going to do that? I got to get committed, bruh. That's how I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do it staying here saying, well, it's 5 of us. We can just keep it the way it is and we got enough room to do what we need to do. No, we don't. We finna expand because I'm committed. I'm committed to expanding because I know if we're in a recession, it's an opportunity. I'm not going to let this opportunity pass me up. So I got to get committed to expanding, not contracting, to potential, not pessimism. So if you're around people who are always talking negative, they're always talking about the bad, they're pessimists. They are not people of potential. So you also got to get committed to collaboration. You got to get committed to collaboration, not isolation. I'll explain that in a minute. You got to get committed to community, not independence. This is going to hurt a lot of you because I used to be that person. As an entrepreneur, I used to be so independent. I didn't really collaborate with people and I really wasn't a part of any communities. I wasn't a part of a coaching mentorship program. I wasn't networking with people the way I was supposed to. And I ain't talking about going to some of these old lame behind networking events where everybody in there just, they don't even know where they want to go. They just in there just running their mouth talking about nothing, thinking small. I'm talking about really expanding yourself to get into circles that make you uncomfortable. To go places where you got to sit in the car and drink water and pray and hope that you could go in here and crush it so that people know you serious about your business. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So the first recession-proof key for you as an entrepreneur, if you do not want to be a victim to this recession, if you want to look back 3 years from now and be one of the 20-something million millionaires that are going to be created in the next 3 years, you got to commit to expanding and not contracting. You got to learn how to expand. How do I expand my business? How do I expand my sales? How do I expand my marketing? How do I expand my influence? How do I expand my relationships? How do I expand my reach? You got to think about that, and your commitment has to be on that. You have to commit to potential, not pessimism. So you can't be thinking about what if. You got to be willing to look into the future and say, you know what, there's more opportunities for me. Like, for example, in real estate, people always complaining about how much something costs today when they not thinking about this same thing that you complaining about right now is going to cost more 10 years from now. And if you wait to buy this 10 years from now, you're going to think to yourself, dog, I should have bought it 10 years ago. Duh, I was trying to tell you, but you was looking back at what it did cost 10 years ago as opposed to what it will cost 10 years from now. That's potential, not pessimism, okay? And then you got to be committed to collaboration, not isolation. This is the time that you start collaborating with people who are extremely good at the things that either you do or things that you don't do, but there has to be a collaboration. You got to start connecting with people on a different level, and that level needs to be a collaborative level. You can't be in isolation. If you just trying to do your own thing, like just this past Monday, we had some of our licensees that they flew in, they were here in Atlanta for the weekend, and they came Monday on Martin Luther King Day because we was open for business, living the dream that he saw. And while they were sitting down, we started fleshing through, just talking about things that they were working on doing. It was just a really good 3-hour session we had, right? And but one of the reasons why they wanted to become licensees, because I was just asking them, like, what made you want to become a licensee and pull that trigger and get that deep into our ecosystem. And one of the reasons why was because they saw the potential in our relationship. They saw how what we were contributing to them, even as coaching clients, how it was working and impacting their life, and they wanted to collaborate. They didn't want to try to reinvent the wheel. They like, why do we have to reinvent the wheel when you got it all? We can just pull from you and make it work for us, and we all win. Absolutely. That's collaboration. And then community. You can't be independent. You can't be independent. You can't just think you're going to figure it out all by yourself. The way people are going to navigate through this recession for the next 3 years. I'm not going to say the recession is 3 years, but what I'm going to say to you is this. The recession, whether it's for 6 months or for a year or 2 or 3, there are economists are already saying there's going to be 22 more millionaires created in the next 3 years. How are these millionaires going to be created? Well, from a basic, fundamental, general perspective, they're going to be created because they understand they have recession-proof keys. I guarantee one of them keys is commitment. So commitment is a recession-proof key. Commitment to expanding, commitment to potential, commitment to collaboration, commitment to community. All right? Let me give you the second one. Number 2, recession-proof key number 2. This is a powerful key here, and I would love to get some feedback in the comments if you agree with me, and maybe you not only agree with me, but you're taking action steps. You're taking these principles and you're putting them to action. Okay, so number 2 is certainty. Me and my personal assistant was just talking about this today. Certainty. Certainty is a recession-proof key because, listen to this, certainty is about specialized knowledge. So if you're going to have certainty in this recession, you have to start getting in the know. You got to start knowing, getting knowledge, but it needs to be specialized knowledge. Like, for example, your knowledge as an entrepreneur can't just be based on the old antiquated way of doing business. That's not the specialized knowledge that I'm talking about. Like, you need to have specialized knowledge on how do you execute sales and marketing in a digital world. Because some entrepreneurs, and I know this to be true because I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, some entrepreneurs don't even understand the digitization of society. They don't understand that we live in a digital world. Like, for example, you might want to start an apparel company. This is just an example, an easy example. Let's say if you want to start an apparel company, you want to sell hats and hoodies and shirts and stuff like that, right? Well, 20 years ago, maybe you needed to open up a brick and mortar in the mall, in a strip mall, in a community center, at the swap meet, at the flea market. In today's world, you don't need a brick and mortar. You can do an online store through Shopify. You can sell stuff through Amazon. You could do drop shipping. You don't even have to have a warehouse today. But if you don't understand that, what you gonna do? You gonna go out there and look for a location to sell stuff and ain't nobody going over there. The traffic ain't there. The business ain't there. The demographics are not there because you do not have specialized skills in a digital world. And guess what? All of you coaches and consultants and trainers, all of you want to be influencers. It don't matter what you're doing in business. You have to understand, how do I take my products and services and convert them into a digital form? That's a part of specialized knowledge. That's how you get in the know. And the more you know, guess what? The more certain you are. A lot of entrepreneurs lack certainty. They lack certainty. They are not certain about their business. They're not certain that they can actually grow their business. And it shows because they won't invest in their business. They don't invest in themselves. They don't spend money on staff and people and payroll and systems and processes. They don't spend money on nothing. You know why? Because they don't have certainty about themselves and their business. If you are certain what you have works, if you are certain what you do can grow, you're going to put money behind it, aren't you? If I told you if you put $10,000 on the table and that $10,000 going to turn into $100,000, what you going to do? If you got certainty, you're going to put 10 grand on that table because you know it's going to turn into 100. Well, as an entrepreneur, you got to have that same certainty. And you have to be certain that your products and your services and your offers are good enough for people to buy. You got to be certain that you can deliver. You got to be certain about what you're doing, where you're doing it. It's a lot of things you need certainty on, but it's all specialized knowledge. And guess what? You have to do it in a very revolutionary way. All right. And so you have to learn how to convert physical stuff to digital stuff. It's a part of the digitization of society. So I was just talking to a couple people the other day who were inquiring about some of our programs. And one of the entrepreneurs was telling me that they still do certain bookkeeping for their business with a pen and paper. And I was telling them that you have to convert over. You got to use technology. You got to use cloud-based products and services to make it easy for you and to make it easier for other people who work with you. So recession-proof key number 3 is confidence. Now, confidence, I had to learn this. I actually learned this from one of my mentors because I really didn't know it this way. I confused belief with confidence until I got put in check by one of my mentors, because he asked a question when we were in an event, and when he asked the question, I answered the question, but I answered the question with so much confidence. I thought I answered it with confidence that I had confidence in certain areas, but I really didn't have confidence in those areas. I just had a high level of belief. And he checked me on it. And he was like, "No, bro, that ain't confidence. You're confident that you got confidence in that area, but you just really believe in that area. You have a high level of belief." But he had to show me just because you have belief in that area don't mean you have confidence. I was like, wow, because your confidence is really about your effectiveness. So you can say, for example, you could say, "Oh, I'm confident as a leader." This is a big lesson I learned. I'm confident as a leader. Well, do you just believe in yourself as a leader, or are you confident? Because if you're confident, that means you're effective. But if ain't nobody following you, then guess what? You're not an effective leader. So I'm confident in selling my products and services. Well, if you're confident and your confidence is that high, your sales will show because you have an effect financially. So confidence is different than just belief. And I had to learn this. I learned it the hard way because I got checked in public. So your confidence is about your effectiveness. It's about your impact. And it's about your contribution. So when you think about being confident, you got to think about, wow, Am I effective in what I'm doing? If I'm not effective, if I ain't getting results, I'm not confident. I just have a wrong definition of confidence. I just have a high level of belief, but you need to start associating confidence to effectiveness, to impact, to contribution. So you can't tell me I'm confident as an entrepreneur that my business is good, but you ain't never on social media. You ain't never marketing. You ain't posting every day. You ain't giving stuff away. You ain't contributing to other people who you can help just for free. You ain't confident. And it shows not just in what you say and how you say it, it shows in what you do and how you do it. So another form of confidence is staying present. Confidence is not just effectiveness, impact, and contribution, but confidence is also seen in how you stay present, meaning how you show up. If you are showing up, And I'm telling you, all you got to do is just rewatch this video a couple times and understand that if we are in a recession, and these 3 keys are recession-proof keys, and you implement them and execute them, I promise that you're going to see certain things change in your life, and more importantly, in your business. So let me give them to you again. These are the 3 recession-proof keys. Number 1 is commitment. Okay, I talked about what you need to be committed to, right? Commitment. Number 2 is certainty. And number 3 is confidence. So again, your commitment is to expanding and not contracting, to potential, not pessimism, to collaboration, not isolation, to community, not independence. Your certainty is your specialized knowledge in sales and marketing and technology and platforms, and learning to digitize everything you do with your business, with your products, and with your services. Being knowledgeable about the current state of entrepreneurship, knowing what the current state of entrepreneurship looks like today, not 3 years ago before the recession. Because the way entrepreneurship looked in January of 2020, it don't look like that in January of 2023. It looks different. We're in a different state when it comes to entrepreneurship. So you have to be certain. And then confidence. Your confidence is really your effectiveness, your impact, and your contribution. So if you ain't doing nothing, that you can't be that confident. I'm confident in the things that I do. That's why I'm doing them. Anything that I'm not confident in, I'm probably not doing it, because I don't have that much confidence in it. So I'm not doing it, even if I'm talking about it. Because if you believe in it, you might talk about it because you have a high belief, but your high belief is not confidence if it ain't making an impact, if it ain't effective, and if it ain't contributing. It ain't moving the needle forward. Your confidence is also your ability to show up and stay present, or in other words, lead out loud. Lead out loud, LOL, lead out loud as an entrepreneur. So I would love to get some feedback from you. Please put in the comments what your biggest takeaway is from today's show. And of course, if you have any questions, if there's anything that we can do to help you, feel free to reach out to us. I'll be more than happy to contribute to what it is that you want to do in your business and in your finances. Which, by the way, for those of you that are looking to be educated, or maybe you're looking for a coach or a mentor when it comes to your business and your finances, we have a special offer that we are extending to our community. You can literally get access to our Millionaire Blueprint, our signature online training program for business and finance, for as low as $99 a month. And you could get access to our Millionaire Mentorship that not only includes the blueprint, but it includes weekly calls, workshops, VIP headquarter days. It includes a coaching boot camp if you're a coach, to show you how to build your coaching business. It includes an incubator training day to teach you how to structure your business and put a structure framework together. You can get access to that for as low as $169. One of the reasons why I'm restructuring my prices for my programs like this is because, number one, I want to do business with more people, but even more importantly, I want you to participate in what's happening in the next 3 years. So economists are talking about, hey, we gonna have like 22 new millionaires made in the next 3 years. I want to get some credit from that. One of my clients was asking me, like, why are you doing so much for us? Why are you giving us all this stuff for little or nothing? I'm like, I want to get in on the credit. I want you to look back 3 years from now and be a millionaire and say, hey, here's why I'm a millionaire, Ramonepreston. I want to do that, okay? So I definitely want to hear from you. Please put in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. And if you're not a part of our Millionaire Blueprint online program or our mentorship, you need to reach out to us today. Text millionaire to 404-478-7213. We can get you onboarded today, and we could really answer any questions that you might have. You might have more questions about our blueprint or our mentorship or both, all you have to do is just call or text Millionaire to this number, 404-478-7213. J.K. Forbes, shout out to you, my man. I love you, man. Appreciate you. He says, sounds like confidence is action and not just a mental state. Yes, it is. And one of my mentors, when I was in Miami, this happened to me 2 years ago. This was, wow, I can't even believe that was 2 years ago at one of our sessions. And we were doing an exercise on belief and confidence. And my belief was through the roof, but I thought it was confidence. And so, you know me, my big old mouth, I was like, oh yeah, I'm confident. And he was like, how confident are you on a scale from 1 to 10? I'm like, I'm 10. And he was like, explain why you are a 10. Because if you ain't making $25 million, this is what he said to me. He was like, if you ain't making $25 million, you ain't confident. And I was like, I was like, man, I felt like this big in the room with about 100 people, right? And I was like, And I had to kind of sit up a little bit, and he was like, yeah, if you ain't making $25 million, you ain't confident. You just believe. You have a high level of belief. And I was like, oh, that's what that is. And then he corrected me, but it helped me, which, by the way, it helped me so much. The next day when I came into the second session, I had an opportunity to share my story in front of the front of like a couple hundred people. It was an awesome experience for me, but it was a lesson that I needed to learn that, bruh, you have a belief system that's high, but your confidence is tied to your effectiveness. Your confidence is tied to your impact, to your contribution, and it's going to show up in your bank account. So don't be saying, I'm confident in my product, but your product ain't selling. No, I believe in it, but my confidence needs to be tied to how I grow and get better at selling that product or that service, at contributing this thing to society, that it shows up in my business. It changed everything. So I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining the show today. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday. What's tomorrow? Thursday the 19th, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Ramon Preston Show. Peace.